Hello. Hello. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Liam.
Hi. Dramatic music. Welcome to Let's Talk About Networking. Janet, Bebb from Social Progress. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Liam. Nearly the weekend. The weekend.
It's very nearly that. Half an hour. We're going to be there, aren't we? Beer or wine in hand. I'm not sure. You might have a juice. I'm not sure. But yeah, not far away. Whereabouts in the world are you?
So I'm based in Home Firth, last of summer wine country. So our chapter's in Huddersfield, but I'm actually in Home Firth, which is kind of part of the whole Huddersfield area, really. So yeah.
Is that where you're originally
over
from?
the hills?
Sorry, is that where you're originally from?
No, I'm originally from Bradford. So I used to live in Bradford, Queensbury, actually is where I was born and bred, but then moved here round about 30 years ago. So we moved here actually because we bought a house that needed renovating, and we lived in caravans for 4 years while we did it up. So, and that's 30 years ago now.
Sounds very exciting. So where do we start, Janet? Where do we start? Let's start with business then, because you've got this fantastic company that deals in, I see your banner behind you, all sorts of social media and training behind it and marketing. So please educate us on your business. Tell us exactly what it's about.
I didn't catch any of that, Liam. Right. So tell me that.
Tell us exactly about your business. I was going to start with.
Okay, great. Okay, just to let you know, I'm having a few internet issues, and it's just purely because I'm at home and our internet connection. I'm in the middle of nowhere, so we've got about 10 houses around us, and that's about it.
Wow.
And so the internet connection is not great. So that's just where we are. So in terms of our business, so the business, as you rightly said, it's called Social Progress, and we offer social media training and social media management on behalf of businesses. So basically, we either will train people how to use social media effectively themselves, or we will manage it for them. So we do a few other bits and pieces, but that's the main crux of the matter, is that's what we've been doing since we set up in November 2011. So we're just short of 10 years old now, which is unbelievable. You don't even think that social media has been around that long, really, but that's how long we've been doing it. And I literally fell into doing what I do, to be honest. It wasn't a conscious effort to do it. It was just one of those things that kind of like, oh, this could be an opportunity. Yeah. Maybe I should try it. And I did. And I thought, I'll give it 6 months, see how we go. And the rest is history, really. So we've been around for all those years. Yeah. So yeah.
I was going to ask, how do you fall into social media training? How do you all, you can't, do you wake up one morning and go, that's what I want to do, or what?
So it's a funny story how I got into it. So basically, lots of different things in the past. I've worked in a bank. I worked as a training provider. I've worked as a skills broker, so that would be working out skills gaps within training, within organisations. And then I went to work at BusinessLink as a business advisor. I didn't apply for the job. I got tupied into that, and as I got into BusinessLink and started using LinkedIn actually as a tool to find clients to work with and just partners, really, to kind of put in touch with those clients that I worked with. And the more I used it, the more I kind of thought, this isn't really rocket science. It's about just using it as a tool to get to know people and understand how you can make those connections, which is what we did. And as we came to BusinessLink, closed down in November 2011, and as we were coming to the end of it, because of my training background, they asked me if I would do some training with the staff to show them how to use it and how to find jobs, basically. And I started looking for a job on there. And then somebody said to me, I don't understand how to use LinkedIn. Would you show me when you finish BusinessLink and I'll pay you? And I went, oh, yeah, actually, maybe that's what I should do. So that is literally how I fell into it. It's just by purely somebody saying to me, could you show me and I'll pay you? And I thought, I'll give it a go. And when I set up Social Progress, it was literally just to do LinkedIn training.
Yeah.
But the more I did it, the more I looked at the other social media platforms and thought, actually, there's lots of other platforms I could maybe get my head around. So I started looking at the other social media platforms. And a funny story, actually, my son at the time was probably about 17, 18, and people were saying, Alex, you really shouldn't be putting that on Facebook. And I was thinking, oh my God, what's he putting on Facebook? So I thought, well, I'll join Facebook. I'll send him a link, send him a request, which is what I did. And so he accepted it. And then he blocked me from that day to this. I haven't seen him. And what's even more funny is my son Alex now works at Social Progress with us.
Wow.
And I still can't see it because there's some sort of bug in the system that we can't unblock. So if I post on his page, it doesn't show it. It's his birthday earlier this week, and I posted on his page, and there's nothing showing there. So that's kind of how I got into the training side of things. But then, the other side, the account management. The more I did the training, the more we got people going, oh, do you do it for us then? Can you manage it? And initially it was just me. It was like, no, we can't. But then after a couple of years, I thought, actually, maybe we need to bring like team members on board and offer that as a service, which is what we did. So which is about 7 years ago now, I think, 6-7 years. And then that's how that started. So I don't account manage. So I don't manage anybody's social media. The team does, but then I just do the training side of things. So, and it works really well, actually, because you get some people who actually want to know how to do it themselves and do it, and that's fine. And then we've got other people that they've no desire to do it whatsoever, but they know it's important that it's done. And then we've got a little bit in the middle, which we've done some training with somebody this week, actually. And we've got, like, you might have a marketing team, for example, that understand how to use marketing, and they understand marketing, but they don't necessarily understand social media marketing. And so I did like a half-day training with them this week, and we get some of that really, where teams want to know, how do I make it work a little bit better? I'm also something called a She Means Business trainer. So I work with Facebook. There's 25 She Means Business trainers across the UK, and I've worked with them since 2017. And what happens is they give us some information directly from Facebook, and we work with Enterprise Nation as well on that. And so they give us that information and slides that we can use for our own purposes. And so that's the most up-to-date information that we can then get out. And it's not, although the program's called She Means Business, it's there for really anybody that wants to learn a bit more about, the whole suite of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all those kind of things. So yeah. So
love it. Love it. Right. Wow. I mean, a couple of friends are on. Neil Grimshaw says, she's very good at it, Liam! Exclamation mark. Hi, Neil. And
thanks,
Louis,
Neil.
Yeah, absolutely right. Louis says one of the only few blue chip Facebook experts, which
thanks, Louise.
I'm assuming. Yeah, absolutely right. So, I mean, what's the most important thing that if you said you have to do one thing on LinkedIn, one thing on Facebook, what are them one things that will help you build your presence? I'm assuming it's about presence. Is it? What's the one thing?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we get this asked quite a lot. How do I make my social media work, basically? And there's like a few different. It's almost like a recipe. If you think of it as a bit of a recipe, and if you can get certain components into, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is, it's about thinking these few things through. So first and foremost is obviously, and it didn't used to be this, but always make sure you've got a really impactful picture, because at the end of the day, what people are looking for is that picture to as a hook, if you like, to draw people into the text. If you think about a magazine, the first thing you look at is the picture, and then you're hooked into the headline, and then you're hooked into the text of it. So it's that, and then maybe try and ask a question at the top of the text that you put in, because by asking a question, you're actually inviting somebody to communicate with you as opposed to broadcasting. So rather than putting something out there, you're kind of trying to encourage that communication, if you like. And then maybe try and think of what the emotional connection is behind the actual post that you're putting out there. And what I mean by that is, does it make you smile? Does it make you laugh? Does it make you feel, I want to be informed by this? Are you going to learn something from it? So what's the emotional connection behind the information that you're putting out there? And ultimately, with any of your social media, think to your strategy, well, why am I doing it? Because if not, if you don't know why you're putting stuff up on social media, it just becomes noise. And actually, there's no point to it. So it's about understanding the reason for you being there and the reason that you're putting that information out there. And then lastly, I would say, and we don't even realize that we're doing it, but often, and not every single time, but if you can put a post up that's got a picture with people in, as we're scrolling down the news feed, what we stop at is the pictures of people. We're not going to know every single person that's in that news feed, but we're subliminally looking for pictures of people that we will know, which stops us. And then also, if not pictures of people, video content. So that's kind of the essence of it. So there's a lot more to it, Liam, as you can appreciate.
Of course.
But those are some of the kind of things that we advocate, if you like, that people think about when they're putting social media posts up.
And time, of course, time. I'm sure you could spend all day, every day, doing this. But is there? Do when you kind of get a beginner in front of you, do you say, start with 10 minutes, start with 15 minutes? What's that sort of guidance look like?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes. We try and often encourage people to think back to their strategy, their social media strategy. How does it fit into their marketing strategy? How does it fit into their business plan? And if you don't know that, that's when it becomes noise. So we're always trying to encourage that. Think about the messages that you're putting out. What do those messages convey? What does it tell other people about the business? So, for example, the business that I've done some training with this week, lovely business, great, fantastic business, and they're doing some fantastic stuff. They actually happen to be a BNI member, actually, and it's not somebody in my chapter either. But what they were posting is a lot of images of the actual products, let's say. I won't say what they were because I'll give it away, but products of they were posting products, but there's no people in it at all. And then as soon as I said it, they went, actually, I can get where you're coming from with that. Yeah, we're not actually conveying the people behind the business. And by doing that, people buy from people, as you well know, and I know, and actually, if you're not conveying that through your social media, then you're missing a trick, because they want to know, do they look normal? Do they look the sort of people that we could work with? Do you know what I mean? We do, again, very subliminally, we do. And some people will look at you, they look at me, and they might go, not for me, actually, no, thank you. But other people might go, that's exactly what we're looking for. They look relatable, they look friendly, they look like we could actually have a really good business relationship with them. So it's all about that, really. It's getting that across, to be honest. So yeah.
So, of course, it's part of this is where I segue into networking. It's part of a full strategy for a firm, and they've got to have lots of different ways of marketing the business, whether it's social media or radio, or whatever it may be, cold calling, you name it. But of course, we're linked through networking, and there's loads of opportunities to network out there, especially on Zoom right now. But you affiliate with a particular group, particular chapter. How did it start for you then? How did your networking journey start?
Say that last bit again. Sorry, Liam.
I know it's all right. How did your networking journey start?
Oh, networking journey start. Good question. So in some respects, Yeah, I'm a BNI member, and I have been a BNI member since October 2012, so less than a year after I set up Social Progress, 11 months into Social Progress. And I got approached by somebody who said, oh, you want to come along and have a look at it? It's really weird because when I worked at Business Link, I would have a sheet of all the networking that people could go to, and I go, oh, there's this, there's this, there's this, BNI, you should go to that. And then I'd never been to it. And then when I would set up my own business, I thought, actually, do you know what? Maybe I should go to this BNI that I tell everybody else to go to and do, and I've never been to. So I kind of went along, and initially I actually didn't like it. I'll be totally honest with you.
Okay,
I really didn't like
me,
it.
yeah.
But somebody said to me, look, come back for a second visit and see what you think. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I came back for a second visit, and in my second visit, sat opposite me was a guy that's still in our BNI group, Andrew Tootill. He's a printer, and Andrew got his 10-year badge. And I thought, he's been getting up at stupid o'clock every Wednesday morning for the last 10 years. There's something in this that I'm not actually getting. Yeah. I need to understand it more. And I'm quite a reflector anyway. I'm the sort of person that's not going to make a decision there and then. So I've got to go away and think about it. And I did. And then I actually thought, well, it's a no-brainer, actually. You know, there's why would I not be a part of it? Do you know what I mean? It was that, really. Yeah. And then the other thing for me is, like somebody said to me, Janet, you do it anyway. And I didn't understand what they mean. I'm like, what? I don't get it. What do you mean? And so when I went along, because as you know, it's about givers gain. It's about looking out for other people. I do that anyway. When I'm networking, I'm never looking out for opportunities for us. We get them. But what I'm always looking for is, what are you looking for? And who do I know in my network that's going to help you? So it's helping this person over here, and it's helping this person over here. And somewhere along the lines, we'll get something out of that. Yeah. Maybe. We may not. So that's how I approach sort of networking. And again, there's a blog on our website that a few people from our chapter will know, our group will know. It's called Off to See a Man About a Dog. And it's about my dad, who used to go out networking in the 60s. And I have 3 brothers and a sister. And my dad used to be a joiner by trade, and he got made redundant. And we'd often see him putting his coat on and his flat cap, being a Yorkshire guy. And we'd go, where are you going, Dad? And he'd go, I'm off to see a man about a dog. And we never got a dog. It was just a saying that he used. But he would go out and he would talk to people, and we'd go to the pub, and he wasn't a drinker either. So we'd go to the pub and he would talk to people, and he'd go, how's it going? How are you doing? And we're like, oh, we're all right. We could do with a bit more X, Y, Z, whatever. And they say, oh, you need to speak to so-and-so in the cafe. Next time I'm in, I'll ask him to get in touch. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's good. So he would put people in touch with each other, but for no other reason that actually it worked for this person over here and it worked for this person over here. And then what he found is that when he got made redundant, he started doing sandblasting houses. So in the 60s, lots of people wanted the houses sandblasting. And so when people would come in the pub or come in the cafe and so, I need my house sandblasting, Eddie's your man, speak to Eddie. So they would remember my dad because he looked out for them. And actually all I'm doing with networking and social media networking and the way I, if I do one-to-ones or whatever it might be, I'm looking out for how can I help other people, because by doing that, somewhere along the line, I'll get something back on that. And that to me feels the right way to do it. It's not about, looking out and trying to get something from people. And I think a lot of people, I've spoken to a few people about like business networking over the years, and they've gone, oh, it freaks me out. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. But their mindset is the wrong mindset. They're going in thinking that they've got to sell their business. And in my opinion, it's not what you need to do. It's more you've got to go and have it. The giver's gain is absolutely fundamental to it. It's if you're looking out for other people, they're going to look after you. Do you know what I mean? And it is just that. It's just making sure that your mindset is always that you're looking out for others, and you'll get something on the back of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think there's two there tends to be two distinct types of business people that network, or that maybe want to join a networking group. The first is people who look at the room and think, actually, I don't think I'm going to get enough from the room for me. And then there's a type of people who look at it and go, I don't know if I'm going to be able to give enough to do. And I'd much rather work with the latter category, because that will come in time when you learn about other people in the room. When you're looking at it going, actually, I don't think I'll be able to receive enough. I don't know what, if that can be worked with as much. But I love that about your dad, to be fair. That's brilliant. So how?
But I mean, the thing is as well, I think a lot of people do come to BNI and think, well, like I don't feel I can give, I can't find those referrals. And I have to say, for me, it's never, and I was the same. I felt the same. Like, I'm not going to be able to give enough here. And actually, I've never had a problem with referrals, bringing referrals in, not once really. And that is now, I genuinely get it, and probably you get it as well, Liam, and other people get it, where I now have people that come to me and go, Janet, you'll know somebody who can do X, Y, Z, because they know that I'm not going to refer somebody to them that's not good at what they do. I'm just not, because it's my reputation on the line. So, but I do get that quite a lot now, and I get it through social media. You get people that send me private messages and say, you'll know somebody who can do this, and they know it's my reputation on the line. So, and yeah, I'm not going to refer somebody who's going to do a bad job. Why would I? So,
no, you give a little bit of your reputation away, don't you? Yeah.
Say that again.
Well, you give a little bit of your reputation away, don't you, when you refer somebody as well? Sometimes in a good way, So, let's go back then 12 months, because the world is obviously a different place, Dan, and you've been in networking long enough to have experienced quite a lot of what's gone in the networking world. And 12 months ago, we were kind of happy-go-lucky, and we were having bacon butties with each other, and kind of we hadn't seen each other for a little while. So how have you reflected on your social media guru, but how have you reflected on the last 12 months?
It's typical that phone's ringing now. It's my house phone, so don't worry, it's not even work that I'm missing out on, so don't worry.
That's all right, you can answer it, Janet.
No, it's fine. It's probably my neighbour, actually. It's been a strange 12 months. And I, like everybody else, although we use social media and we're very au fait with that, and we always have been, with what we do. The one thing we're not been as au fait with is things like this. So using, online chats and live events and that kind of thing, and using Zoom. And so I was no different to a lot of other people. It's like, it's a bit of a stress, actually, just kind of getting yourself out there and being on a screen and people knowing that that's live, and it just feels a bit strange. But now, actually, I'm totally comfortable with it. It's not a big deal for me anymore at all. But then it's probably because we've done it for so long now. It's opened up for us a new avenue, if you like, for online training. And so that's been good. And I'm not going to lie, we've been the same as most businesses, where because we're having to change and adapt all the time to the different, government guidelines, it's been challenging for us to make sure that we're in line with all of that.
Of course.
Obviously we have done. Work from home, but then also with our clients, if you think about the clients that we work with, and they range from a large it might be, well, there is a large steel manufacturer that's got 5 sites across the UK, to little one-man bands, so they're it's quite a diverse sort of businesses that we work with, and every single one of them have had to adapt, and then they've had to adapt how they're working with us in order to do that. So some have paused, some have stopped altogether, some have gone, actually, this is the ideal opportunity for us to be on social media. We need to get ourselves out there. We need to do advertising. We need to do an e-commerce website. So all of those, because we do websites as well. So all of those, it's been that kind of thing where there's just been a lot of changes and stuff. But it's down to mindset. Some people's mindset has been, we can't do anything, so let's just stop. And some have been, right, this is an opportunity. Let's get there. Let's make sure it happens while we're at this opportunity. So, you know, so it just depends on what people's mindset is, to be honest, Liam. So, but it's been good.
Agreed.
You know,
mindset.
It hasn't stopped us working. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, totally. We haven't. I mean, we've not furloughed anybody. Everybody's been working throughout, and because of what we do, we can work from home. It has been challenging, really, in some respects, and most businesses will have found this, I'm sure. Where you're not in an office, you're not just kind of going, "Oh, what? By the way, did you ring so and so?" We're all connected on WhatsApp, and so we are well connected. We have a Zoom every single week that, you know, we're just catching up, but it's just not the same as being in the office, is it, really? So we can't wait till we can't get back together and that, but we can work, you know, so it just means it's slightly different.
Agreed. Lauren, listen, half an hour goes by very quickly, Janet, and I've still got a lot to fit in. So what's the one piece of advice you would give to somebody watching this right now, and it's going to be across a lot of forums, and they're thinking, networking might be for me, I'm not sure, it might be a room full of people who are in business for a long time, whatever it may be, what's kind of your one piece of advice you give to a new networker?
Just get yourself out there. One of the things that I thought when I set up Social Progress is very quickly after I set it up, it wasn't an intentional thing to network, let's say. I just thought, I'm just gonna, and the only way I can describe it is, I'm just going to go and kiss a load of frogs. And that is exactly what I had in my head. I'm going to go and kiss a lot of frogs. So I just thought, I'm going to meet loads of people, and some I like, and some I won't, and some I'll get along with, and some I'll end up working with, and some I'll walk away and think, never again, thank you very much. But that's just life. And actually that first 6 months when I did that, because I got the time to do it, because I was setting up my business and still kind of getting into everything, that I think is invaluable, just getting to know people. But the bit that I absolutely, you know, one of the things I probably haven't really communicated, although I've sort of said about being in B&I Terriers for the last sort of 9 years nearly now, the bit that because I've been a director consultant like yourself in the past, and the bit that and it really came home to me when I went to the conference a few years back, and they showed some stats about why people join, why people stay in B&I. And the thing that for me, and all my group know this anyway, the reason I stay is because of those people. Those people that are in that room, they inspire me, they support me, they help me out when I need them. They are, I feel motivated by them. They're just a great bunch of people. And so I'm learning from them all the time. If challenges happen in my own business, I can relate back to somebody that's in the group and think, how would such and such a person deal with that? And I might even ring them and say, this is happening. What do you reckon? And it's just great to have those people around you. And don't get me wrong, I'm there for the money as well, and making sure we're getting the referrals in. But there's so much more to it that people, I think, sometimes don't really think about. They come in thinking about the money rather than the bigger picture, let's say. So that's been invaluable for me, to be fair. So
every time I do one of these interviews, the main thing that comes across is that it is about the money, as you said, but people stay for so much more than that, and that's brilliant. What I know we've got a couple of minutes left. I just want to highlight Terriers, really, for the brilliant work that they've been doing in the past, for a long time now, but certainly in the last 12 months. So just give us a minute on what Terriers are doing.
Oh, what they're doing?
How well they're doing.
How are we doing? Okay, well, so we're currently at 40 members. We've got a couple of people that have their business they've been furloughed, basically. So so that's been a bit challenging for them. But we have got 40 members. We've had 9 new members since we went down into lockdown in April last year. We adapted very quickly and very I wouldn't say easily, but we did adapt. You know, we got hold of it very, very, very quickly, and all our members were on board with that. We've only really lost 3 members in the last since April. So again, great retention rate, which is fantastic. We're currently, the thank you for the business is just short of 2 million. So, and it's just been fantastic that everybody's pulled together. It's been challenging because people want to meet face to face, as you're probably aware, Liam, but we can't in the same way, and so we've been very conscious that those new members coming in need to feel supported, need to feel part of the team, and that we want to make sure that they are getting as much out of BNI as they possibly can, and so encouraging one-to-ones and socials. And in fact, we've got a social tonight, we've got a quiz tonight. So that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's been an interesting year, an interesting one because, and I'm sure most chapters would say the same as well. We're probably the first leadership team that's never been stood up in front of a room, and we feel like we've kind of missed out. You know what I mean? So we have said that once we go back to face-to-face meetings, one of the meetings, they're going to hopefully let the 3 of us that have been on the leadership team the last 12 months to actually be in front of the room, which will be lovely because you feel like you've had something taken away from you, really. So, yeah.
I get that. Well, I've heard some fantastic things about that. I mean, £2 million generated between all you members going back into the local community, being spent locally. It's just tremendous. I mean, it really, really is. Janet, 32 minutes. How do we get there? Awesome. I genuinely thank you very, very much. I suppose my last question is, how can people get in touch with you if they've seen something that they want to speak to you about?
Basically any of the social media channels, as you can appreciate, we if you go to any of the social media channels, you'll find us. We've got Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and also our website, which is www.socialprogress.co.uk, or email us at info@socialprogress.co.uk. So any of those will be great. Thank you.
Love that. And I'm sure there'll be links all over these chats as and when they get posted in different groups. Janet, brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful evening. Go and enjoy your quiz tonight. If you are watching this, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it afterwards, and you think, actually, do you know what? I might want to get some of that success. I might want to look at, I'm doing my own business, whatever it may be. Scan that QR code on the top of the screen right now. It'll take you to a page and with all the information on it, and someone will be in touch to get you down to one of the groups and start earning the money that these people are generating for each other. Janet, have a wonderful evening. See you very soon.
You too, Liam. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.